Hey everyone, welcome to another edition of So Let's Talk. Today I want to talk about entrepreneurship. I wanted to share some of my experiences that I've encountered throughout my journey. A lot of times people look at me and they're like, oh wow, Lachelle, you have it together. I'm so proud of you. Things are going so well with you, but you guys have no idea how hard it is. A lot of times we have a vision and we have this dream or we have this idea and we want to start a business. And if you're actively involved in social media like I am, you would think by watching, a lot of these top people on social media that it's so easy. You come up with this idea, you post things to Facebook, you post it to Instagram, and voila, you blow up. And that may be the case for some people, but God knows that's not the case for me. So for the majority of us, you are going to have to actually put in some serious work. So I've written 10 steps down in my iPhone that I wanted to share with you guys. So today's topic is, so you want to be an entrepreneur. My first point is, have a God-given vision. In today's world, we have a lot of copycats. This one is selling hair, so I want to sell hair too. This one is opening up a salon, so I want to open up a salon too. When you become an entrepreneur, you have to have a vision. If you don't have a God-given vision, especially, it's not gonna last. You may be successful in a season, but you will not have the grace to continue on with that vision because it's not yours. It's stolen. You're being a copycat. You're being a carbon copy of someone else's vision, of someone else's idea, of someone else's purpose. So first things first, you want to have a God-given vision. 2, you need to have a plan. When I first started, God knows, I remember when I wanted to start makeup artistry and I was praying about it, and then all of a sudden I remember one day God said, start your own makeup line. And ever since then, when I would post pictures of my makeup work to Facebook, people just started inboxing me, oh Lachelle, you should start a makeup line. Now keep it in mind, no one ever said that to me before. But then all of a sudden, people started saying, oh, Lachelle, you should start your own makeup line. You should start your own makeup line. So I had to develop a plan. I did my research. I started looking around. At that time, I was looking into private label cosmetics because it was the easiest to do at that time. And it just took a lot of work. So I had to sit down. I had to come up with a business plan, even though I didn't know anything about that because, of course, my profession full-time, what I went to school for, I'm a clinical laboratory scientist. So business, accounting, marketing, finance, that's completely opposite from me studying biology, chemistry, physics, biochemistry. Completely opposite. So I had no idea on how to take these on. So I had to incorporate other people that could help me, and I just had to really sit down and do my research and come up with a plan. So that's number 2. Number 3, invest in yourself. I remember when I started doing makeup artistry, YouTube was my school, okay? I would tell people I went to YouTube University. And don't get me wrong, YouTube is a great starting point, but at the end of the day, there's only so much you're going to learn from there. You have to invest in yourself no matter what you do, whether it's going back to school, whether it's taking classes, whether it's purchasing books. You have to invest in yourself to make yourself better, because a lot of times you're going to get a vision and God will show you the end, okay? But he's not going to show you the in-between on how you get to the end. He's not going to show you the road ahead and what you have to endure to get to the end. You just see the end and it looks all lush and beautiful, but you don't see the hurdles that you have to jump over. You don't see the mud pool that you have to crawl in. You don't see any of that. So always, always, always invest in yourself. I remember when I wanted to take my artistry to another level and I really wanted to get serious, I started taking classes at the makeup shows. I would always travel. I went to Orlando, I went to New York, and I learned so much. Like, I thought I knew it all. I went there and realized I didn't even brush the surface. So it was so important for me to invest in myself. So I'm telling you, the biggest thing you can do, the best thing you can do for yourself if you want to be an entrepreneur, is invest in yourself. 4, have patience. Ugh. I think that's one of the hardest things for any of us. We have this idea and we think, oh, it's great, it's gonna make me a lot of money, but you never know how long it's going to actually take for you to make that money. A lot of times you may start off in the negatives. Like, I remember when I first started J. Antoinette, I ordered products after products after products, and I made so many sample batches before I came up with a final sample batch that I wanted to sell. I gave away so many sample products to people, to my close friends. Like, I kept this group of, like, this study group of friends that I always gave samples to so they can test it out, test out fragrances, test out texture, test out how long the product stayed on their skin, the moisturizing properties, everything. So I had to have patience. I didn't launch until almost a year later, because I first started J. Antoinette at the end of 2014. I first started my sampling, and I didn't launch until Easter. I think it was Easter weekend was when I launched, or like the week before Easter. So it was almost a year before I even put the product out. You have to have patience. I remember TD Jake said one time, God gave you the vision and you saw Walmart, but you had to start out in your garage. The Bible says, faithful over the little, ruler over much. Number 5, trust the process and do the work. You have to do the work. A lot of times you're going to want to give up. I'm going to let you know right now. There's a picture that I saw, and it's a straight line, how people think success is. And then the other picture was how success actually is. And it's just like a line in circles and knots and knots and knots. And it's a starting point and it's success. You have to trust the process. You have to do the work. If it means going the extra mile, like for me, I had to put in the work. I work a full 40+ hour work week, including Saturdays. And when I get off from work, I'm home studying J. Antoinette. Sometimes I'm on my job, on my breakdown, on my break time, studying J. Antoinette, studying what I need to do to move forward, studying other formulas, studying different oils and butters and what they're good for, studying who do I need to reach out to, how do I need to market my company. I'm always working round around the clock, dreaming about it, daydreaming about it, just putting in that work. So number 6, don't give up. Fail your way to success. That's pretty much self-explanatory. That goes along with patience. You have to stick in there. You have to stick in there. I remember my pastor had quoted this quote. He says, big vision, big provision. And it's just as simple as that. Don't give up. You have to keep pressing no matter how much times you fail. Like, you know how many times my formulas didn't work when I was doing my hair butter? You know how many times that product failed before I finally came up with the right batch? Of course, as you can see, to make my hair butter, I have it in now. I used it last night to do my twist out. I did this 4 times. And then this batch almost failed when I created it to go on sale. So you have to fail your way to success. I mean, you don't have to, but a lot of times that's a part of it. Number 7, don't despise small beginnings. Like I said, you may have seen your name in lights, but you may have to begin with your name on a cardboard box with a Sharpie. Don't despise small beginnings. You may want to be a speaker and you see your name, you see yourself you know, at the Bank Atlantic Center or the BB&T Center, and, you know, selling out Phillips Arena and all these different AAA arena, and you may have to start in your living room. Don't despise small beginnings. If God can trust you with the little, he will begin to increase you. You have to be faithful over where you at and what you have in your hand. 8, guard your heart. Okay, let's really talk about this. When you become an entrepreneur and when you start to separate yourself from people, you have to guard your heart. You're going to have people that don't believe in you. A lot of times it's going to be family. You're going to have a lot of people that want you to fail. You're going to have a lot of people that are not going to support you. You have to guard your heart. Careful who you share your vision with. That's number 8. That's number 9. Protect your vision. That goes along with number 8. You can't tell your vision to everyone, especially if you're in the beginning stages. I didn't tell anyone about J. Antoinette until I was ready to launch J. Antoinette. I didn't tell anyone about my idea. I didn't tell anyone about what God told me, because I remember when I sat down one day, I was in the bathroom. This was after my grandmother died, and I sat in the bathroom and I was like, instead of praying the usual prayer, like, you know, Lord, I need some extra money, I said, God, I sat in the bathroom, I said, God, I need you to give me an idea that's gonna generate wealth into my life. And that's what I said. And immediately I heard God say, make body butters, nail polish, and lip gloss. Immediately. And I was like, wow, that was never a dream of mine. So I know that was God. And so I started researching it right away, started looking into things, ordered a bunch of books on how to make these products and how to study different oils and how to put them together. And then I went to bed that night and I asked God, I was like, what should I name it? You know, I knew it wasn't going to be under LZF, which is my makeup company. It was in the middle of the night, like 2 o'clock in the morning. I know it was after midnight. And I heard the Lord say, J. Antoinette. Never called my grandmother that before. My grandmother's name is Joyce Antoinette Curtis Farrington. And I heard J. Antoinette and I was like, wow. And that's how it was born. But I didn't tell anyone. I didn't tell anyone until it was time to launch that I had started this new company, until I had gotten the logo, until I actually had sampled products and I was ready to put it out there for people to start trying. And that's what I did. Did not tell anyone when I was in the initial stages. And so that's what you have to do. Protect your vision, guard your heart. Number 10, keep God first. A lot of times, God gives us a vision and you're like, okay, God, thanks. And you run with it. And guess what happens? You fail and you have to come back to God because you thought you could do the rest without him. But he gave you the vision, but you need him to walk with you to make sure that vision comes to pass in the way he wants it to. God may give you an idea to do an event and you just got that idea, saw the event and the vision, and then you just run with it. You don't talk to him, you don't ask him, you don't get his input, and then it fails and then you wonder why. You have to keep God first. Keep him first. So that was the 10 points I had. So I also wanted to share, if you're thinking about becoming an entrepreneur, can you help sustain another man's vision while trying to promote and birth forth your own vision? That's the hardest part for me right now. Like, I know I'm ready to get out there, but still I need my job. My job is funding J. Antoinette. My job is funding LZS Studios. So I have to be faithful at my current job, which is another man's vision that I'm helping to stay alive. And with me being faithful over that, God will see me fit to be faithful over my own and to have my own. So also, do you have the energy to work around the clock nonstop? Like I said, I work a full-time job. On my job, off my job, I'm going. Like me, it's just me by myself. I'm taking care of myself, paying my own bills, plus all the extra money, pumping that into my business. Are you willing to do that? Do you have the drive and the perseverance? You can't start a business if you don't have drive and perseverance. When I started J. Antoinette, I was so excited making my formulas, putting these things together. And when it was time to launch and actually get them sold, it felt like it was a completely different ball game. A completely different business in itself. Sales is completely different. So are you able to do that? Do you have the ability to stay focused on achieving what it is you want, even though what you are looking at presently seems to be the exact opposite? Think about that. Do you have the ability to stay focused? Because you may feel like everything is failing and everything is falling apart. Do you have that ability to persevere and press through? Because you have to keep that vision before you. That's why the Bible says, write the vision and make it plain. You have to, because you will lose focus and become disheartened so easily. A lot of times I have to step back and I have to regroup. And I have my vision board right next to my bed and I look at it every morning. Sometimes I really have to stare at it and read what I have on there to motivate me, because there are so many times that I want to quit. So I'm asking you that. Are you willing to make the ultimate sacrifice? Being an entrepreneur, especially if you're not coming from a wealthy family and you're starting this thing from scratch, no investors, you're your only investor, you are your only employee. It's not easy. Are you able to say no to some of the things that you may want to do right now in order for you to have the life that you want to live later? That's very important. A lot of times you may want to go on vacation, or you may want to go partying. Are you able to say no to that? Like me, I had to say no to buying a house, saving up my money to buy a house. I battled with that for years. Let me say that, okay? It was save up all of my money and be a homeowner, or take that same money and invest it into the vision God gave me. I still wrestle with the thought. But I wrestled with that thing, I wrestled with that thing, I wrestled with that thing. Are you able to do that? Because I would still sometimes beat myself up, like, I would get that feeling like, man, I'm wasting so much money into this company and I'm not seeing the fruit that I want to see. I'm not seeing the fruits of my labor just yet. And all that money I could have saved, I could have had so much money in the bank, I could have owned my own home, I could have already had a new car. I said no to getting a new car. I said no to buying a house, just to pump money into this business. And guess what? It's still not where I want it to be. I'm still in the beginning stages. 4 years later, still in the beginning stages. Still like trying to catch up, still trying to push, still trying to press forward. Are you willing? Think about it. A lot of people are going to fall away. A lot of people are not going to support you, family included. And if you're a Christian, some people may be hurt by this saying, but church folks too. Okay? A lot of times as Christians, those are the first people we look to for support and the last people you get support from. So know that God has a group of people that are called to you, and you have to trust that. You can't force anyone to be in your circle. You can't force anyone to be a part of your tribe. If they're meant to be in your life, they will come. It's a process, and as you go through the process, you will begin to see progress. That's my last point. This journey to success is a process. You may have gone from making a deficit to now you're actually either breaking even or now you're in the positive. Learn to take time to step away and see the progress. Because a lot of times you'll get frustrated and you'll be like, wow, I've come far from where I first started. You may not be where you expected to be or where you wanted to be, but you've come a long way. So a lot of times you have to stop, take a moment, step back, and look at the progress you've made in your life. Okay, so I hope that has helped someone. I hope you enjoyed this topic of so you want to be an entrepreneur. I hope those tips help a lot of you guys that are thinking about becoming entrepreneurs. If you have any questions, comments, please, you can leave it below in the comment section. You can send me a message, you can email me, like, share this video, leave some feedback. I would love to continue to discuss this with you. All right, you guys have a wonderful day. Blessings to you all, and until then, you guys stay awesome. See you guys later.